Hey everyone, today we have a flooded road because of the beavers. They're being a big nuisance on this road. I already had to put up so many ribbons of other floods so the trapper knows about it. So this is one we unclogged about 2 years ago during routine checks in the spring, all of last year. No beavers, but it looks like they found the place again. So how plugged is it? Will this pipe be operable? Why is it like a little horseshoe on such a small pipe? That's unusual for the beavers, but it's mostly mud and grass. So once we get a flow, we can just shuffle it around and most of it should be able to get sucked through. Right there is the beaver lodge. So hopefully we don't have any very angry beavers coming out. It's a small pond. They're gonna notice this water drop quite fast. Now the trapper's still got time to come out before any deep freezes. It's the end of October, but this month is becoming warmer than usual. Now what do we have here? You see all these sticks? This looks like a beaver pantry. So they'll come out and they'll come over here. This is what they have. It doesn't even look like that. A lot of it's already half eaten, but they always make a pantry so they don't have to leave the pond in the winter time. But we still got a few more weeks before a deep freeze. And with the amount of water crossing, they could have this pond filled up again overnight. But they have logging operations going on right down here. That's why this is becoming so bad so quickly, all the heavy trucks going through it. So I'm sure the loggers will be happy if we get this thing drained. The beavers even tried to build a dam across the road in the middle of the night, but the log trucks just smashed it out of the way. See all the sticks? You can tell this was going across the road. They were trying to incorporate part of the road into their pond. It's not that great of a beaver pond. It's pretty small. All right, we're gonna get camera number 2 out, get the rake out. I already got the big high boots on because there's been a lot of issues today that I've been having to mark. A lot of them that are a pain in the butt that you gotta call into the excavator, and they have 3 bridges completely plugged on this road, gushing across. And those ones are just not worth me doing because I'll sit there for hours, back-breaking work, to have the beaver plug it back up. Now look at this, the water's gonna come gushing out of here. I remember this one a couple years ago. When we got it open, it pushed over all the grass. It was so satisfying. And look, this giant beaver pond down here, I didn't even notice it last time because the trees had leaves. Cool. If only the beavers would make this their home. The logging company wouldn't care, but they're flooding the road. So let's get on this. Maybe we'll have an angry beaver come out and greet us. All right, everyone, camera number 2 is going. Noise for camera alignment. I don't think we'll see anyone in the time it takes to do this. Maybe a log truck. It's always nice to talk to the truckers when we're doing stuff like this. So right now I'm going to have the camera crooked like this because we're going to try to do an even split screen because this will be a good one. Then once I'm done, I want to show you some things that the beavers did. There's some dominant beaver trails going across this road. Let's see if we can get it open easily or not. Get some water flowing. That'll help us unclog it. Let's hope that it's not clogged inside. Let's see. Nope. That moved quite well. This stinks a lot too. This muck is heavy. Let's open it up enough so we can send it through so the beavers can't reuse it again. Well, just let loose. Now we can start sending stuff through. Plunge it like a toilet. Look at that, just like a toilet. Let's give you a better view. It's more exciting than seeing me. The ground is so crooked. Dig it down even with the pipe so we can drain as much as possible before the beavers build back tonight. By doing this, it buys the road time, even though they'll rebuild it. Send all this crud through. Go on. Plunge it like a big poop stuck in the toilet. There it goes. Let loose. That should give us a big blast on the other side. We've got a whirlpool going. This pipe is bigger than it looks. Sun's coming out. Send it all through. Make it harder for them to build back. We got the current. We can send anything through now. All the rocks they used, everything will get sucked in. It's got some good suck going. No sign of the beavers yet, but they'll notice this quickly. It's a small pond, and the water's already dropping. Their foundation goes way out. Plunge again. Double whirlpool. All right. Going good. Now I gotta work on digging down. And there's even a friendly leech coming over to see me. I don't think he's coming over to see me. I think he's getting sucked over. We're releasing so many stinky gas bubbles. Smells like a stink bomb. I hear rocks tumbling. 3/4 of the way open or so. What am I feeling? Is that excavator damage? It might be. Trying to agitate all the mud so it can get sucked through. There's some sticks going across it. Trying to get out of there. Doing this helps agitate all the mud and it gets sucked in. Don't try that at home. If that water was a little deeper, I'd be at risk of getting sucked in. That current's strong enough, it's pulling stuff way out there in. Whew. We're just about completely open. There we go. We got the mud out of there by kicking around. Now the crooked sticks are coming out. It's open even more. Now where are those angry beavers? I can't believe they didn't come out and give me a splash of the tail warning. That's completely open. Let's kick a little bit more debris through it. Get rid of all this foundation. This is a rare one. We got a lot of power. Get all these clumps of mud out of here. Out of breath. When the water drops, the current will also help erode the mud. See all the gas bubbles coming up? The water's holding pressure against the mud containing the gas. As the water level drops, there's less pressure, so it starts releasing. This area's pretty stinky. Look at all those gas bubbles that I'm releasing. Wow! I'm just pushing into gas pockets. Look at that. Try doing a little of that with my feet. Nice. Almost flooded my boot. Got really deep mud. All right, out of there. Oh my gosh. The other side is more spectacular than I could have imagined. We've already dropped back about 4 inches. It's possible the beavers were already relocated and the logging company just didn't get to the pipe yet. It's just about stopped crossing the road. Look at that awesome blast. Wow. Nice. The downstream beavers are going to be really happy about that. We made that whole pond back there look muddy. All right, let's put away all the gear, then come back out. Do some before and afters of this. Noise for camera alignment. All right, everyone, we got everything put away. Gonna hang up some blue ribbons to warn of the water hazard, so beaver trappers will know there's an issue. They look for the blue ribbons. draining back fast. We'll come back out here later on today and get a shot of it completely drained, although we might not even have to. This will probably be drained back in 20 minutes. Who knows, maybe beavers will start building again. Look at this big stick on its way over here. All right, this is already reduced from what it was, but here's what it looks like before. When we got it open, it pushed over all the grass. And here's what it looks like now. The water already has started clearing up too. The mud's all gone. But look back there in that beaver pond. Here's what it looked like before. The water wasn't murky before. Now it looks like coffee. Here's what it looks like after. But that'll clear up pretty fast. There's a lot of water going in there. It'll also settle as silt. Here's what the entrance of the pipe looked like before with all the debris. And here's what it looks like now. With that big stick about to come over, we still see stinky gas bubbles getting released because there's less pressure on the mud keeping it encapsulated. Now, is this gonna go through nicely or is we gonna crisscross? Water's already drained back about 8 inches. Oh, here we go, it's going through. Run to the other side. There we go. Nice. I can start to smell it now that the water's reducing. The drainage ditch water is also starting to come down here. The whole ditch is draining. These puddles should be gone by tonight. They'll sink into the ground, especially with the help of the sun. Here's what this location looked like before we started. And here's what it looks like now. See some moose tracks in there, some leeches. Whoop, almost slipped. The water from the road's going in there. It looks like coffee. Whole drainage ditch is operating in reverse. We're about to put up a couple of blue ribbons here. I want to walk down here too. I want to see if this next culvert pipe is blocked. This water may have been partially being diverted down here. Maybe the beavers clogged this one too. Let's see. I see some bobcat tracks in the road, also some moose. This ditch isn't really full of water down here. I don't think it was making it to this next pipe. The next one there has a blue ribbon. That's already been marked as defective, completely unclogged. There's water sitting in it because the angle of the pipe is bad. It's also a plastic pipe not buried deep enough here and there. Definitely crushed partially. That part might even have a, yep. That's actually the joint. You're actually seeing the pipe itself right there. That got crushed open a bit. Still operable, but that's why it's best to not use plastic pipes, because they crush too easily when they're not buried deep enough and when these roads turn to mud. Alrighty everyone, we added a bunch of blue ribbons around the pipe. Early warning ones, some of them down there where the flood will reoccur if the beavers clog it up. Assuming the beavers are still here, there's pretty fresh evidence. Who knows, they could have got relocated in the past week or two and the evidence would basically still look the same. So the pond's almost drained down at this point. I gotta order more blue ribbon. We're going through it today like crazy. I didn't expect to find so many issues in late October, but beavers are busy. They're building when the weather's nice, and it's been feeling like summer this week. Don't even consider a jacket. Don't even need a blanket at night in the truck sleeping out here. And we're in far northern Maine and it's still pretty hot. Next week it'll start to get cool again. These ponds won't freeze over again for a couple more weeks. So we're still doing preventative drainings and reporting the issues. Now that it's down a bit, you can see the current is starting to erode it now. But we got it in the middle there down to the level of the pipe so we can drain the pond down. We're just about drained. I don't see any evidence of the beaver, which is amazing. I think they're probably relocated. That lodge is pretty fresh. That was built this year. Looking at the material, like I said, can't tell if it's yesterday or 2 weeks. When it starts to become dim, you can judge if it's a few weeks, a month, 2 months. It's hard at this moment, especially since the sticks are covered in mud, which tints the color and gives you an inaccurate reading. Hasn't rained in about a month, so none of that stuff would have been cleaned out. We got a couple more loose sticks making their way over here. So if I see the beavers pop their head out in the next, we'll wait around another 20 minutes. We'll put a camera somewhere looking at the pipe. I don't see any good sticks, and I'd be afraid to use this because they might chew it down and try to use it in their dam. Although I could break those branches off and maybe use the base right there. Although I'd probably like to stick in a brand new pole and something metal that they won't chew if we want to put a trail camera up. But I'm only going to put a trail camera up and waste my time coming back out here tomorrow morning to do it if I have some proof that they're actually here. It looks active, but I think they may be freshly relocated and the logging company didn't get to this. So, oh, look at that. The erosion is starting to tear more of it apart. That's why we got some murkiness going in. Nice. I gotta order more of this ribbon. This is actually the most expensive color, and unfortunately Home Depot, hardware stores, they never sell blue. I don't get it. They sell green, yellow, pink, orange, white, but they don't sell blue, which you would think would be common for marking utilities. But I will definitely come out here again in the evening, whether it's already dark out or not. Depends what else the day brings us as far as jobs. But I would love to get some before and afters of this when it's drained back completely, when all these puddles are gone. So we will return this evening. I wanted to show everyone this. See this? That's a beaver highway. They go back and forth there, across the road. I don't see any beaver footprints in the mud, so that's another sign that they're probably not here. They go in, that's their trail. And there's more dominant ones if we walk down a bit. Now that the water's draining, oh, we have another beaver trail. This was probably their pantry, now becoming exposed. It's not the start of a lodge. They collect sticks, their favorite trees, jam them in the mud so they can just get out of their lodge, come in here, grab a piece, go back for snacks all winter long. They don't have to leave. But this is a ridiculously small pond to have such a big lodge. This also is a beaver trail going back and forth, running across the road. The water's reduced by flow a lot. Over here's another kind of a beaver trail, but right here is pretty dominant. You can tell they've been going in and out of the water here. This whole thing is basically a trail. Beavers will actually excavate canals through woods and stuff so they can swim undetected below the surface and hide from predators. They'll make little canals out into the woods, basically like a logging road, but it's a logging canal. They cut down trees and they can float pretty heavy pieces back, and that's how they build things. Look at the water down pretty low. Can we walk out here now? As long as the mud's not too sticky where I feel like I'll get stuck. Yeah, the beaver pond's shallow. Look at this. Okay, hopefully we don't have an angry beaver run out and attack. Beaver attacks are very rare, but they happen in situations like this when they're vulnerable and territorial. Only one person's ever died in history from a beaver attack, and that was because it just happened to bite him in an artery. Now if we step on the lodge, sometimes that'll make them come out. This is an entrance. You see they excavated a deeper canal right there so they could swim out even when the water levels are lower. Right there's likely another entrance. Beaver lodges always have at least 2 entrances so they can escape if a predator comes in one. I've seen lodges with as many as 5 or 6. This is a pretty big lodge for this small of a swamp. Pretty fresh. With the mud covering everything, it's hard to tell. But considering I'm walking on it now, making noise, nobody's coming out, I think that we're pretty safe to say nobody's living here. And we won't be putting a camera up here. I actually left the camera down the road that we'll pick up later, but that has nothing to do with catching the beavers building. It's more of a time lapse than anything else. All right, now right here's a deeper area. They might have a entrance coming out underneath that grass, I'm not sure. Stay clear of it. The bottom of this mud is actually pretty rocky because before they made it into a pond, this was a creek, and all the rocks now, eventually the mud will erode back off them. All this mud is silt built up over the summer from that pipe being clogged. Any dam will have sediment build up. Look at the rocks up here on this. I wonder how those got there. Is this another exit? No, that's not. So it looks like we're dealing with just those two. I don't think there's one under the grass. There's two exits. And considering no one came out, this guy's either hiding or something. Just knocking on the door. Let's see if anyone answers. These things are solid. Good luck ever falling through one of them, even if you were on the roof. Unless it's a rotten, unmaintained lodge. They're very strong for years. No one's answering the door, so I'm gonna guess no one's home. Or maybe another beaver downstream has been maintaining this, but the way I see half-eaten logs, I feel like this was a beaver's home, but they were relocated. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone answering the door, so I don't think anyone's there. Look at this. More undertow is ripping that stuff up and coming through. Wow, we dropped back over a foot, probably 18 inches so far, and we'll drop back another foot or so. Nice. Downstream, this whole pond is starting to flood. Let's take a little walk down there. We're not gonna go far. I just wanna see if, ooh, this is pretty deep in the canal area. Seeing if we can see another lodge or anything hidden. Probably should have came down here earlier, but it's not information that really matters. This area is flooding and it looks like the pond. So if we zoom in, it looks like another dam. And there's probably another bigger beaver pond even further down because there's a big open area beyond the trees. Don't see any lodges here, but nice. We'll be back later. It's good to see that there's no beavers here. They already got relocated, it appears. We'll definitely get our answer when we come back out later. So now I'm going up the beaver's trail. If you saw that little bit of oil in the water, that comes out of the mud from rotten material. It's not that anything was leaking out here. Still not seeing anybody home. And it's unusual for a beaver to just sit in there scared. They would have come out and ran away. So, doing good. Right now I'm seeing, if you look in the water, you see all those little brown pieces floating by? That's dead algae, because it's been the lack of sunlight with the shorter days is causing die out of a bunch of stuff, and it falls off. Like, that's what's turning the bottom of all the water grass black. It's just a dark colored algae, and a bunch of that's being knocked off by the water dropping, and that's what you see floating on through. All right. Another foot of drop. Let's get back on the road. We still got 4 hours of good daylight to keep inspecting culvert pipes. All right, everyone. It's been about 2 hours and we're back on scene. Let's pull over right here where I have a good amount of room in case a log truck needs to pass. Okay, pull up a little more. Good opening so I can get out myself. Now let's see how everything looks after 2 hours. It should be completely drawn down by now. All right, everyone, so in this area, the log trucks aren't active yet. They won't be on the roads until 10 p.m. is when the loggers are on shift for this area this time of year. So we don't really have to worry about them at the moment, but I still pulled over anyways, and the effect is already dramatic. Look at this. Water's way down. Wow. Let's get some before and after footage. Here's what it looked like around the beaver lodge before. And here's what it looks like now, completely drained back. We will walk up to the lodge and show it. Over here at the pipe, here's what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. This is all the beaver dam's foundation, but as you see, it's down level with the pipe. It's about as low as we can get it. Here's what the entire pond looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. That's a huge difference. And you notice nothing was built back. I don't think the beavers are here. Look at the grass all pushed over. Here's what it looked like before at maximum flow. And here's what it looks like now. Here's what it looked like before we did anything when the grass was still standing up. And here's what it looks like now. Even the level of the big pond, I think, has gone down since earlier today. Here's the beaver's trail that we went on in earlier. It looks like a whole bunch of like suds and stuff from the swamp. The current we made agitated the nasty water and it makes it into kind of a foam. But the coffee color over there is completely gone. And let's go have a look at the flood in the road. It's only been 2 hours and this road is pretty packed from the logging truck, so this is going to take a while to sink into the ground. The grader will probably fix it before winter since they're using the area. They don't want these issues. There's even a small trickle still leaving the puddle. I'm surprised. Here's the beaver dam going into the road. No longer trickling across the road though. That changed. Now this is very empty. Here's what it looked like before, showing the little beaver dam. And here's what it looks like now. We go have a look over here. Look at all this silt. The drainage ditch is still draining back a teeny bit. Completely empty. This was all flooded before. All drained. Looking good. Not sure if you're going to see much of a difference, but here's what the road looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. And I believe since we were here earlier, these might be fresh. These look very fresh. I think a moose may have walked through here. And here's the beaver's pantry. Here's another angle of what it looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. Let's go back up to that lodge and investigate. All right, we're moving on in. Now this is very stinky. It has like a acidic smell coming from the grass that's covered in that brown algae. Look at all the gas bubbles that are trapped in the mud. You make a big stink when you walk around in here stirring up everything. Now what we're looking for evidence at this moment is, are there any footprints or anything leaving? So I was wrong. This was not a beaver entrance, it appears. It just looked like it because of the trench coming out. Look at that beaver cut log. It's so small and stubby. So, looking around, we don't see any footprints. So this is a weird one. It looks like both of their exits are next to each other. Usually they have one on each side so they can make an emergency escape. So we're looking around at the moment. Do we see any footprints? No, we do not. No beaver ever left us today. Looking around back, there's no entrance there, no footprints anywhere. Yep, 100%. This is an inactive beaver swamp, and they must have been very recently relocated. I can tell years ago, beavers were here too. This has been an issue in this one spot for a while. These little trees grew because the older forest got killed. This stuff grows back. This stuff does pretty good growing in water. Takes a while to drown out. So yeah, very fresh beaver lodge and everything, but there is nobody here. Nobody's home. They were relocated. Good. All clear. No more issues in this location for winter. This late in the season, no new beaver is looking for a spot. They should already have a spot set up. Beavers around here are usually relocated out west to help with flooding and help with drought. They help with both situations. So Hopefully they got moved by a trapper for the state. If it was a trapper for the logging company, they likely were killed on site. Depends who gets to them first. And I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.